When a young soldier named Ibrahim Traoré rose to power in Burkina Faso, many outside the country barely paid attention. To foreign analysts, it was just another headline. Another military man in camouflage stepping into the presidency. A flicker in the news cycle. A temporary detour. He'd make noise, maybe reshuffle a few ministries. And eventually they believed he'd fall in line like the rest. But something different happened. He didn't fall in line. He redrew it. He didn't ask for permission. He tore up the script that had kept African nations trapped in dependency for decades. He didn't take office just to govern. He came to liberate. The first shockwave. He took back Burkina Faso's gold. Burkina Faso, a nation rich in gold, over 70 tons every year, had for decades watched that wealth flow out of its borders, into European banks, into foreign portfolios, into Swiss vaults. Meanwhile, back home, villages remained poor. Families struggled, roads crumbled, children dropped out of school. This was the system, silent, sophisticated, exploitative. But Traoré saw it for what it was, economic colonization wearing a modern mask. And so he made his first move, one that sent shockwaves through European capitals. He reviewed every foreign mining contract. But this wasn't about renegotiating. It was about reclaiming. He canceled corrupt deals, took back national control, and set up Burkina Faso's own gold trading platforms to bypass the French and Swiss middlemen who had controlled the game for years. And then he did something unthinkable. He made sure the wealth stayed home. The second blow, Ibrahim Traoré kicked out the foreign militaries. But it wasn't just about economics. Traoré knew, whoever controls your military controls your nation. For years, foreign troops had been stationed in Burkina Faso, not just for counterterrorism, but to secure influence. So he told them to leave. He didn't ask. He ordered, and they left. Then he strengthened local security by arming and training citizens under a new volunteer defense program, loyal not to Paris, not to Washington, but to Burkina Faso itself. Next, he turned to his neighbors. Together with Mali and Niger, he formed the Alliance of Sahel States, a regional military coalition designed not just to fight insurgents, but to resist foreign control altogether. The psychological revolution. But Traoré understood that the real battlefield wasn't in the gold mines or in the army bases. It was in the mind. Because for too long, African leaders had been taught to seek validation from the West. Need loans? Call the IMF. Need security? Wait for NATO? Need legitimacy? Beg for praise from foreign media. He shattered that illusion. He didn't beg for applause. He didn't speak to Western diplomats. He spoke directly to African youth. And his message was simple, powerful, and dangerous to those in power. You don't need permission to build your nation. It was more than a speech. It was a spark. And that spark caught fire. The Eastern pivot. Traoré introduced a new world order. While Europe watched in panic, Traoré looked east. He opened talks with Russia, signed military cooperation agreements, welcomed infrastructure projects from China. He wasn't just rejecting the old world. He was building a new one. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso began exploring entry into BRICS Plus, the global economic bloc challenging the dollar's dominance. If successful, Burkina Faso's trade could be powered not by Western currencies, but by yuan, rubles, and rupees. It wasn't about Burkina Faso's GDP, it was about symbolism. Because if one African country could break free from the economic grip of the West, others would follow. What followed was predictable and chilling. There were coup attempts, strange assassination plots, mysterious foreign consultants fueling unrest, propaganda campaigns labeling him a radical. The message was clear. He must be stopped. Just like they tried to stop Patrice Lumumba. Just like they destroyed Muammar Gaddafi. But each time they tried, Traoré survived. And each time his legend grew. Now other nations were watching. Not just watching, following. Mali kicked out foreign troops. Niger shut down drone bases. Guinea and Chad began shifting alliances. Senegal's youth rose in protests. The neo-colonial order was no longer just threatened. It was crumbling. And the West knows, if Ibrahim Traoré succeeds, the rest of Africa may never look back. Now what makes him different? Traoré doesn't have nuclear weapons. He doesn't control vast oil reserves. He doesn't even come from a major African superpower. But what he does have is unbreakable will. He has shown Africa and the world that you can rule without bowing, build without begging, and lead without apology. And most of all, he has shown that true power isn't about foreign aid or Western praise. It's about owning your story, owning your soil, owning your future. So now we ask you, will the world let another revolutionary voice be silenced? Or will we stand, speak, and share before it's too late? If you believe Africa deserves true independence, not just in name, but in reality, if you believe leaders like Traoré must be protected, supported, and remembered, then don't let this story fade. Like, comment, share, subscribe, because telling the truth is the first act of resistance. Until next time, stay awake, stay aware, and stay free.